Thank you for joining me for a demo of Reveal and how we can help you create a data-driven culture. Let's get started. So I'm going to walk you through, as Jason said, how Reveal 1 works, and 2 can give you some of the features needed to create that data-driven culture that we talked about. I'm going to present Reveal through the web environment, but we also support desktop, iOS, and Android as well, all of which you can always get from our website. So when I first come into Reveal, I'm in kind of like my home section here where I have all the dashboards that I'm working on. I have all my favorite dashboards, all my recents, and then we provide you samples out of the box as well here to take a look at. And through this top navigation here is where I have all my different teams that I can collaborate on. And with Reveal, when you log in with your Google or your Microsoft corporate account, we automatically create a organization for you out of the box. And as your team members and coworkers log into Reveal as well, they're automatically added to this organization. So it's a great starting point for that central place of truth that we were talking about in the deck, where you can have certain permissions for users and you can have your true data administrators be your owners that are really guiding the data that your company is seeing as a whole. And then from there, you have your other different teams that you can then break down permissions and invite different users to. So as a marketing group, we might want to see some different details of data rather than having that at the organization. So that's where you can collaborate with your team there. I did create this one little sample that I was gonna kind of work off for this demo here, where you can see that some of the different visualizations that we have in Reveal present here, as well as I'm utilizing one of our top level filters here too. So within Reveal, I have interactions at the dashboard level for my tooltips. I can expand different charts. I can change charts right from here as a viewer. So I can show you that area chart that Jason was talking about. I can look at the data behind my charts. I can switch back to the original, and then we have a number of built-in statistical functions as well. So I can perform forecasting, linear regression, and outlier detection right within 2 clicks of Reveal here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through kind of like recreating at least some of the visualizations in that dashboard there. So if I come up here to add dashboard up at the top, I'm then prompted to select my data source. So we select, I think, about 20 out of the box data sources now. Each month we add more and more, so we're trying to release every 4 to 6 weeks with new both chart types, features, and data sources. So for the purpose of this, though, I am just going to use a sample file that I have on my OneDrive. And what Reveal does is it now prompts me with all the different sheets that I have within my Excel file here. I can preview them, but I'm just going to select this sales one and select data or pull it in. And over here on the left-hand side is where all of my fields populate for the given source that I selected. The settings for each of my chart types will be right here. So for each different chart type, you have different settings. And here's where I can either click and pull over my data or very easily drag and drop. So if I wanted to recreate that line chart we were looking at, I'll pull over date, new sales, and I think I had forecast here. And then right up here, I'm just going to change that to a line chart, change it from year to month. And then I'm going to just change the title to new sales versus forecast. And just like that, I have my first chart type here. And you can see that the settings within this chart are different than the ones that we had for the pivot table. So once I'm happy with how this looks, I'm just going to hit the check up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that dashboard level filter here. So I'm going to come here and hit date filter. I could have a category up here. So if I wanted to pull up territory, I could pull territory up as a filter to the top. And I'm just going to hit connect, and Reveal recognizes the date source that I'm using, and I'll hit create filter. I'm going to come up here and just change this to last 365 days, and then you can see my data change. I'm actually just going to duplicate this now here and go into edit mode. And I'm going to now change this to a pie chart. So I'm going to remove these fields, and I'm going to switch this to a pie chart. And you can see here that the boxes changed in the data section. So what we're doing is we're letting you know exactly what you need in order to create this chart type. So I need a label and a value, which is different from if I was creating like a combo chart. I need a label and something for chart 1 and chart 2. So if I just come back here to pie chart, I'm going to do just new sales by territory. And I'm actually going to add a drill down to that. So I'll pull over, I think I have a product field, and we'll do new sales by territory. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll hit the check up here again. And then I already have my second chart here. So what we have on by default is an auto layout. So as I keep adding more, the charts will be the same size and keep building from there. Or the second that I start rearranging and resizing in Reveal, the auto layout will go off and I can change and move my charts around as I please. And then what I'm going to do is just come up here to add a new chart type. So what I could do is I could pull in data from another source if I wanted to. I am just going to stick with the same one that we pin up here to the top for you. And I'm going to create a KPI versus target. So I need a date, I need a value, and then I need my target. So then once I have everything needed for that chart, you can see that it populates. I can come here, I can change this to be large number formatting. I can look at this either year to date, month to date, however I wish. And I'll just do new sales here. And then, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not going to connect that to the date filter because it already has a date calculation already going on. So it's already taking my month to date versus the previous or versus the forecast. So I'm just going to hit check there, and then I can just resize this, bring this up here. Doesn't look as great because I don't have that many. And then once I'm happy with the way that my dashboard does look, I would just come up here and hit this check. I would save this to, I can directly save it to a project that I'm on if I have permission, to the organization if I have permission, or just to my home. So I'm just going to save it right here for now for the purpose of this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a team. So I'm going to go to join or create team here, and all of the teams within my organization that have the privacy of public come up here. So it's a good way for discovery of different data here. If I wanted to join any of these teams, I could, and I have the right to. But I'm going to create a new team. I'm just going to call it data driven. I can change the privacy here, so I'm going to keep it private for the purpose of this. I could add a logo and my color here, so when we export to PDF and PowerPoint for your different charts, it'll export with a nice branded logo and color for you for your different organizations and teams. I'm just going to create this here, and I'm actually going to invite Jason to it. And you can see as I'm typing, the different members in my organization are automatically coming up, and people that are in my contacts and things like that. So I'm going to give Jason the member permissions. He can either be a viewer, member, or owner. And I'm going to send him an invite. He's grayed out until he accepts, so we'll just move on from here. And what I'm going to do is go back to my home and take that the nice dashboard that I have here, and I'm just going to move it to that team. So what I typically do is as I'm working on dashboards, I have them in my home section. Then once I'm good with the way they look, I move them over to a team, and you can see down here, Jason's joined my team. I'm going to go to data driven, and I'm going to move this dashboard. You can see that it disappeared from this view, and now it does exist in my data-driven team here. So if Jason was to go in and make any updates to this dashboard, I will get a notification up here as I did that he joined the team. We can collaborate in here. We can add new members. We can share just this dashboard with other people as well. So if I came in here again to a few of the other options that we have is exporting. So we can export to PDF, PowerPoint, Excel. Excel is pretty nice. It will export the visualizations for you and map directly to Excel visualizations. And you can see that I missed what that notification just said. But
I requested access to your data source.
Oh, because it's on my OneDrive. Okay. Yeah.
But
so if you did make so if you made an edit to the dashboard and I had it a file already shared with him, but I do get that notification that I can go in and grant him access. But we do have, as I was saying, export to PowerPoint. So if I come here and click export to PowerPoint, what you see is a nice UI of the different visualizations within my dashboard. So you have your first overview one, and then it goes into each individual visualization where I can select which ones I want on the export. I can come here, I can annotate right from within this editor. I could use an arrow here. I can use text. Why is this so low or something? And then I can hit the check up here, and you can see that that will reflect in my PowerPoint. I can add descriptions and titles to my slides. You can see where the branding comes in. So it gives you a nice ready to go PowerPoint for your different meetings that you might have or whatever it might be. Yeah, that was the demo.
Click your notification and then just show people what happens here. So what basically happens is, because I might not have access to a file, we allow you to give access to your data sources. And it's mostly going to be your own data sources, like, for example, OneDrive, Google Drive, things like that, files. If you're in IT and you don't, someone has to give access to SQL Server or Google or whatever. But those notifications happen back and forth, which makes it super easy then for people to share data, to give access to dashboards, all the things that you would need to actually collaborate with your team on these dashboards. So that's actually pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and this one is actually an already shared one, Jason, if you want to see. The marketing one, I just moved over to the data-driven team. We all already have access to that, so there's no need to request. You should be able to.
What I'll do is I'll change something here. I'll change this to that and maybe change that to a bar chart and click that. And now the dashboard is updated. So when you look at it, you'll see that I changed a couple things. Yeah.
Yep.
Changed
right
the theme.
In real time. I actually saw it in the thumbnail as well. So the theme is now different. This chart is now, this is not the best chart type for this data, as you would have learned in our dashboard do's and don'ts, but it still works.
Be sure to check out our other video series and learn about topics like embedded analytics and data visualization best practices. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Reveal BI.